My friends, hello. It is chapter 2 of the 50th law. Let's get into it. It is about self-reliance, how when you are working for somebody else, they own you and your time. 50 Cent, after he got out of jail, he lost all his money and all his freedom, right, in the process. And he realized that, like, him not relying on others is how he needs to make it work. For him to get back on top, he did have to go work for someone else, but he learned the ins and outs of what they were doing, then made it himself, and then persevered. And through that experience, until he made it, his self-judgment, his decision-making, and everything else grew. Imagine there's a fork in the road and you have two paths, one this way and one this way. This way, you're working for someone else. You have the security of a paycheck. Same pattern forever. Okay, like you've unfortunately flatlined, but you have certain comforts. Let's say you go the other way, and it's taking the risk of creating multiple streams of income, creating your own business, seeing if that one passion project worked. Scary because it's uncharted territory and you're taking a risk. But the outcome, if you really fulfill it, is total freedom. You have power, confidence, and the moolah. Not on someone else's accord, because you were to take the other path and just get those paychecks and work for someone else. You're still working for someone else. You didn't really make anything of your own. You're creating someone else's dream, and they're just handing you out breadcrumbs so you stay. I was born alone, and I will die alone. I've got to do what's right for me and not live my life the way anybody else wants it. 50 Cent. And all I have to say to that is amen. If you are living your life for others and listening to everything that they have to say to you and going against your own intuition, your own dreams, it's a sham. And I'm assuming you're not happy. I have done that before, and that's just, it's out of your alignment and your authenticity. So live it for you, because you're the one that has to live it. You're the one that has to wake up every day and face what's in front of you. No one else. So who cares what they say? Unless you actually like what they're saying. Your body, your time, your energy, your thoughts, your autonomy are all unique to you. You are so unique. No one else out there is exactly like you. So that's like your main power, and I've touched on this already. Use your creative mind. Use what you got to create something that can flourish in this lifetime. And if you don't want to, it sort of squanders your independence, and it takes the creativity out of you, because you're just putting your energy towards someone else's vision instead of creating the machine and the idea of it. You're just a cog in the machine. You're just a piece in the machine that if it breaks, it can be replaced. I was in the serving industry for years, and the desperation for hours, making sure that my schedule would be the same, to make sure I would make this amount of tips every week for like my bills and yada yada. If something were to really happen where I couldn't go back or it didn't work out, I would be replaced within like 2 days, probably within the week. If you've worked in the service industry, you know how it goes. But it's just a cog, just to keep it moving. The self-interest of oneself is the main thing when it comes to people. Am I good? Is my money good? Can I do this? Is my family good? Like, as long as their business is afloat and they're doing all right, they know they'll find someone else to work for them. Initially, when making these changes, you have to realize that it only comes from you. You gotta start it. You gotta want it. And that's gonna come mentally and physically. you have to enter it into your daily life and your daily form of practice. If that's hitting the gym or reading every day, taking time to brainstorm, it's like the domino effect. You're like the starting point, and then it's going to go. Overall, with the self-reliance, it discusses how your life must be a progression towards ownership. Take ownership of your life. If you want to make something great, how is that going to entail with time with your family in the future, with investments, with the things you want to see in life? Like, do you want to travel? It all goes hand in hand. So if you're one that's like, I want to travel and live my life all around the world, but you have to clock in somewhere where you need to be physically present, you probably aren't going to be able to do all that as often as you might like. How wonderful would it be to be like, oh, I want to travel the world, and while you're sleeping or while you're hiking up a mountain, you're also cashing in money because it's constantly coming in because you've built a business that allows you to do so. With that, no pain, no gain, right? So you've got to take a hard look at things, what we talked about in chapter 1, and then make some major adjustments. Things that come easy and fast tend to leave just as fast. So it's going to take a lot of hard work. It'll be worth it in the end, right? Rome wasn't built in a day. Step 1, especially when trying to reclaim your independence, is reclaim dead time. Time is critical. Working for others is dead. If you are still in that process of working for someone and you want to get out of it, what you can do is put yourself in that niche of what you want to do. Learn from people that are already in that and successful. And then take all that knowledge of being in the field and make it happen. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom. It's possible to transform dead time into alive, valuable time. Step 2, create little empires. Multiple streams of income, right? You can make a plan of what you want to do, then execute it. What that does is create a sense of self, a sense of hunger. And then your creativity starts rolling. You're thinking the way a majority of the world doesn't think. You're on a roll. You're starting to condition your mind for better. And you learn from the mistakes in the process. Anything that you get good at, anything that you practice, you're going to make mistakes as well. It comes hand in hand. Step 3, move higher up on the food chain. Let's say you're here and you want to be here, and there's all these people in between. You don't want to have to depend on all these people in between to get up to where you want to be. Step 4, make your enterprise. Make it a reflection of you, of your personality. I was saying how we're all each so unique. We all have our own creativity, our own mind. No one sees anything specifically the way you do. That is legitimately impossible. Nobody sees things the exact same way based off of how we grew up, based off of experiences. Like, impossible. So you're unique. Sell yourself. The authenticity of you while creating something will help you flourish. Yes, there might be a very saturated field with people doing all these things, but are they going to do it exactly the way you do it? No. Sometimes the new things are refreshing. Don't sell yourself short, is what I'm getting at. Don't sell yourself short. Now we're going to look at it from a reversed perspective. Independent individual could seem automatically like they're hard to be around, or like a little reclusive, or like they're always alone. And people are like, ugh, that's weird. But then there's other individuals that get along with everybody and are smiley and are hee-hee-how. And people might think that those are the ones that are getting it all. But at the end of the day, they might be a little superficial. And the independent individual is comfortable with their self. They can be alone. That's their strength. If they are intertwining with others and having discussion, it's something of substance and value. Like they bring something to the table. Gotta look at things a little differently. There is a time in every man's education where he arrives at the conviction that imitation is suicide, that though the wide universe is full of good, no kernel of nourishing corn can come to him but through his toil bestowed on that plot of ground which is given to him to till. The power which resides in him is new in nature, and none but he knows what that is which he can do, nor does he know until he has tried. Ralph Emerson. You won't know until you try. You could read story after story, experience after experience, but each one is different to an extent. There might be similar ones, but you won't know until you have your own. You are so unique, and there's so many people in the world. So what if your story's a little different? That is chapter 2, my friends. All about self-reliance and the steps within fearlessness on how to obtain it. Create something that will last in your life, that is of quality. Next week is chapter 3. I was feeling black and white today. I think it might be because it's January and it's winter and it's 8 degrees outside. Till next time, stay authentic and live your life. Live your life. Live your life.